I was, like all of us here, taking part in all the demonstrations concerning the bombardment of Gaza a year ago and the horrors that we witnessed on the television screens. But to see it, okay, a year on at first hand, the wanton destruction of people's homes, of a school that I visited when I was an election observer there at the presidential election, with a shell that had gone not through one wall but two. Now, how can anyone possibly justify firing a shell through a school? You have to be some kind of cold-blooded individual to be able to even think of justifying that kind of thing. Then the deliberate shooting down and bombing of minarets above mosques as a way of destroying people's sense of identity within their community. And now, if the convoys and the aid convoys, with persistence, can get there and deliver aid, if a dedicated group of members of Parliament can get there to show an act of solidarity with fellow citizens of this planet, then what is it that is stopping the European Union, the United States, the UN and everybody else saying to Israel, you broke the law, you bombed illegally, you used illegal weapons, you're imprisoning an entire population, you continue to imprison those elected representatives, and still no sanctions being made against Israel? Surely our call has to be now for economic sanctions against Israel. Then the two other questions come up. One is the Goldstone Commission report into the atrocities that happened. If you've read Goldstone or summaries of Goldstone, you'll see it's an incredibly painstaking document. They went to the most enormous effort to collect the evidence and the information and put it together, and Goldstone presented it to the UN Human Rights Council, as he was bound to do. They, the Human Rights Council, voted to send it to the United Nations Security Council, as they were asked to do, and they did that. The British representative, I'm assured, wasn't in the room, therefore wasn't abstaining on the document. And I've tried to find out from David Miliband what the difference is between non-attendance and abstaining, and he's unable to give me a proper answer on this. The reality is that Britain and the United States were unkeen, to put it mildly, on Goldstone being sent for any further action or investigation, but it has gone to the UN Security Council, and we've got to keep our eye on it to make sure that document is thoroughly prepared, investigated, and the appropriate arrest warrants made against those people that deliberately, specifically ordered the bomb of civilian targets in Gaza. The reason we have universal jurisdiction on human rights cases in British courts is because those of us that were campaigning to have General Pinochet put on trial managed to get the case into the House of Lords, and they voted, they decided rather, that British courts had universal jurisdiction on human rights cases on a decision of a district judge on appropriate presentation of evidence, and a district judge duly authorised an arrest warrant for Livni. Apparently, the Foreign Office is embarrassed by this because it will stop friendly leaders, i.e. Israeli leaders, visiting this country. So they want to instead change the law to make it a requirement that a prosecution can only be done on the authority of the Attorney General, thus bringing it straight away into the political arena. If this thing comes up, we will mount the strongest possible parliamentary action against it, and we'll need to mount a very big action against it outside, because it is simply wrong that we should interfere against people guilty of human rights abuses, and they should therefore face trial as a result of it. And the last point I'd make is this, that we are presented with the situation that there's a division amongst the Palestinians between those in Gaza and those on the West Bank. The blockade of Gaza exacerbates that sense of division and separateness, but the impression I got from meetings I've had with people in Syria and also meetings I've had with people in Gaza, that there is a real feeling of bringing together a Palestinian leadership that is united to act for, argue for, and demand recognition of Palestinian rights around the world. And I think that's something that we have to remember. We're here in solidarity with the people of Palestine. They've suffered 60 years of humiliation, of attack, of death, of discrimination. Those that live in Gaza live in these awful conditions. And the sadness is, you're walking amongst the rubble, you're walking in the awful conditions. Go to the top of what passes for a hill in Gaza, look over some other destroyed buildings and you see the fence, you see the barbed wire, you see the watchtowers, and beyond that you see a very high standard of living in shopping malls and all the rest of it. It's the first world right up against something worse than the third world conditions that people of Gaza face. We're concerned, rightly, about the situation in Haiti. We're concerned rightly about aid being necessary for the people of Haiti. But the cause in Haiti was an earthquake. The cause in Gaza is a political decision made by Israel to impoverish the people of Gaza. The cause is the specific way in which the Western countries walk by on the other side and allow this abuse of human rights to continue. There are brave people in Israel who speak out against it. There are brave people all around the world who speak out against it. We have to double, redouble, then redouble again our efforts in solidarity with all the people of Palestine to end the blockade, to end the siege, to gain recognition, to have those prisoners released, and allow the people of Palestine the right to live, the right to work, the right to travel, the right to their own democracy, the right to their own life, that they are destroyed. Is destroyed by the actions of Israel, but also by the way in which Western countries provide the arms, provide the credit, provide the aid that allow this disgusting breach of the human rights of millions of people in Palestine and the West Bank to continue. Our job, friends, is solidarity with all the people of Palestine. Thank you very much.